Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Is my voice audible? Good afternoon, everyone, again. It is with great pleasure I, Dr. T. Swapna, Department of ECE, welcome you all to the day 1, week 2 of the 2-week faculty development program on transforming education, integrating OBE and NEP 2020. Today's session is on NEP and accreditation. As we are all acquainted with the previous sessions, from the 1 week FDP sessions, what we are all attending, the key pillars of NEP are access, equity, quality, affordability, and accountability. The speakers have taken a lot of pain in explaining all the major pillars of NEP 2020. Thank you to them. And we all know that accreditation plays a crucial role in ensuring the quality of education provided by institutions. It serves as a benchmark for quality assurance and continuous improvement. Today's session highlights the key aspects of NEP 2020 and its emphasis on improving the accreditation process to ensure the delivery of high quality education across India. Now, I request Dr. P.S. Ramashrikant Garu, Director, Ranks and Accreditation with SAPI, to start the session. Over to you, sir.
Yeah, thank you. So, a very good morning to one and all. Audible? Am I clear? My voice. Is my voice clear? Audible clearly?
Sir, have you started the session, sir?
Is my voice clear? Audible? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, it is audible.
Okay. Yes, sure. So, a very good morning to one and all. So, welcome to the second week of the 2-day faculty development program, day 1. So today's topic, as was rightly introduced, informed, is on NEP. Hello. Yes, audible now?
It is audible, sir. Volume is very low.
Very low, huh? Achha. Okay. How about others? Like, is it, can you just check with one or two others? Is the same or?
Yes.
Yeah, so let me go forward. If at all there are any other voice issues, you can let me know. So like, yeah, day 2, day 1 of week 2, NEP and accreditation. So accreditation, as you all know, is one area where all the institutions are looking forward. It's a great challenge for the institutions. It's a great challenge for the IQAC coordinators, everyone. So what is the call of NEP on accreditation? So before we have a discussion, I'll share my screen so that we can delve right away into the discussion. My screen is visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah, so moving forward. So as usual, the number of times a word appears in any document says the importance of the that activity or an event in the policy framing process. So if we see, accreditation appears 29 times actually. If we remove it from the glossary and then the contents page, effectively we can find it in 25 places, which is quite a good number for a policy document which is actually taking so many parameters into consideration. So now I'll just have a brief intro, hardly take a couple of minutes on this because most of us are very much acquainted, familiar with it. So what is accreditation and why is it so important for us? So accreditation in a very, very simple sort of way, before we delve into what NEP says about accreditation and all that, accreditation in very, very simple sort of way, not looking into dictionary and all that, we can simply term it as a quality. And why is it important? Why is it important? Because when you pay money, you always look for a quality product. When you pay money, you always look for a quality product. It's like uh, more or less, education from 1970s, 1980s has turned into, uh, unofficially speaking, into a business. Officially, it is still a service-oriented sector. Officially speaking, unofficially speaking, it has turned into business. So when you speak of business, you're interested in there is a customer and there is a service provider, right? Or a product and a customer, you can call off. So what does the service owner looks? He's interested in the amount what you pay, and the customer looks for quality. So now when multiple number of institutions have thronged up, promising that they will ensure the quality and charging you hefty prices, so then an agencies have to set in which establishes certain quality standards, right? And accreditation is that. So once you have met a certain standards, it makes your organization or institution credible for the world market, right? Yes. So in effect, as I mentioned, it speaks of quality, right? So now let us look into the dictionary meaning of accreditation. It speaks of two things: the action or process of officially recognizing someone as having a particular status or being qualified to perform a particular activity. That's one. An acknowledgement of person's responsibility for or achievement of something. Underline the word responsibility, right? So, uh, responsibility is a very heavy word. And then Oxford Learner's Dictionary, if you see it, official approval given by organization stating that somebody or something has achieved a required standard. So now this is the timeline which shows how frequently the word accreditation has been used over uh, the last two centuries. From 1800, if you look into, it's almost like up till 1920s or say 1915 or so, the word is almost very rarely used, accreditation. This is the appearance of the word accreditation in the literatures, right? In the literatures related to quality. So from then 1920 onwards, you can see a gradual rise, and it has taken a peak somewhere in uh, late 1990s and then early 2000, right? So the word accreditation has been very frequently used across any stream you take. Accreditation comes. So now, what is its relevance to us? What does NEP say? Document says about accreditation. So let us first go into the document. What the document says. In page number 34, uh, it speaks of, like as I mentioned, there is around 25 times where accreditation, the word accreditation has been mentioned. I have picked up certain places where I felt which is more relevant for you, where we can deliberate on and then see how the changes are being implemented, the NAC reforms, how are they thinking in with NEP 2020, what are the efforts taken by the state, the central government and the accreditation bodies, right? So at page 34, if you see, it says a stage-wise mechanism for granting graded autonomy to colleges through a transparent system of graded accreditation will be established, future tense. All right. So a stage-wise mechanism for granting graded autonomy to colleges. System will be transparent. Right. Transparency is at two levels. Transparency from the organization. And the other way of how you look at transparent is trust-based. Page 35. Colleges will be encouraged, mentored, supported, and incentivized to gradually attain the minimum benchmark required for each level of accreditation. So in the first, we have seen graded levels of autonomy, right? Different stages of autonomy will be there, and colleges or universities, whatever, they'll be mentored, supported, and incentivized to gradually attain the minimum benchmark. So what are the minimum benchmarks? They're yet to be released, right? But there is a quick framework which Radhakrishnan committee has given, right? And recently the NAC reforms Ganeshji, the director of NAC, he has given a glimpse of some of those things. So we look into those things, how the accreditation is going to change. Again, page 35, with appropriate accreditations, autonomous degree granting colleges could evolve into research intensive or teaching intensive universities if they so aspire. So with appropriate accreditations, so there are again, the benchmarks will be given out based on that, whichever benchmark you set into. So autonomous colleges could gradually rise into, we have already seen this in the previous discussion of higher education, how they can evolve into, autonomous colleges can evolve into research intensive, teaching intensive, right, if they so desire. Then on same page 35, accreditation system will develop and use appropriately different and relevant norms across this range of HEIs. This range, this indicates research intensive or teaching intensive, right? Degree awarding colleges. This system will give an equitable opportunity for all public institutions to grow and develop, and will be based on transparent, pre-announced criteria from within the accreditation norms of accreditation system. And then through the attainment of suitable accreditations, all higher education institutions will gradually move towards full autonomy. So the full autonomy means both academic and administrative, in order to enable this vibrant culture. And then all colleges currently affiliated to university shall attain the required benchmarks over time to secure prescribed accreditation benchmarks and eventually become autonomous degree granting colleges. So all affiliated colleges, if they are duly accredited, right, meeting the prescribed benchmarks, they'll eventually become degree granting colleges. If they don't meet the given benchmarks, you still need to be an affiliated college, right? So now we will see in the future slides how the accreditation system is going to change. So some more glimpses. Norms, standards, and guidelines for systematic development, regulation, and accreditation of online degrees will be, open then distance learning will be prepared, and a framework for quality of ODL that will be recommended for all HEIs will be developed. So now we are speaking of uh, digital universities, distance learning universities and all. Those also need to be accredited, and the guidelines will be prepared separately for that, right? They may not be exactly how they are for an offline or a regular working universities. To address the above mentioned issues, the regulatory system of higher education will ensure that distinct functions of regulation, accreditation, funding, and academic standard setting will be performed by distinct, independent, and empowered bodies. So now 4 verticals will be set up, which we will see in our future slides, right? For regulation, for accreditation, for funding, and setting academic standards. 4 verticals, right, are prescribed by the policy, which is mentioned on page number 47. And again, on 47, accreditation of institutions will be based primarily on basic norms, public self-disclosure, good governance, and outcomes. And it will be carried out by an independent ecosystem of accrediting institutions supervised and overseen by National Accreditation Council, NAC. In the short term, a robust system of graded accreditation shall be established, which shall specify phased benchmarks for all higher education institutions. All HEIs will aim through their institutional development plans to attain the highest level of accreditation over the next 15 years. So in the next 15 years, all the institutions, the aim of the policy is there is no institution which is not accredited. Why? Because in the previous slide we have seen, or on the higher education presentation we have seen, over the next 15 years, all the colleges will be transformed into degree awarding institutions. That is the goal. That is the goal by 2040, like we have seen. And the student strength should be 3,000. On the previous slide, you have seen if colleges are not accredited, all the affiliated colleges, if they are accredited, they'll transform themselves into, or they'll elevate themselves into degree awarding institutions. If at all you are not accredited, means you are far, far, far below the standards, right? So you still need to be affiliated. In the long run, accreditation will become a binary process as per the extent of global practice. So in the long run, currently we have got this uh, rating, right? We have got ratings of um, A++, then A, right? C++, right? We have got different ratings. So, but what the policy document is envisioned is, in the long run, accreditation will become a binary as per the extent global practice. So, most of the accreditations in the global scenario, if you take EBET, if you take IET, right? They are all binary, accredited or not accredited, right? So the policy has suggested that, and post that, the NAC, they have constituted a committee, and then a lot of debating, and they have observed various global practices, global standards, the merits, right, the disadvantages, advantages of the current accreditation practice abroad, the drawbacks of our accreditation system, right? So all this, and they have come out with a binary process, and then the accreditation system, the accreditation system developed by NAC will provide a complementary check on the system, and NHERC, National Higher Education Regulatory Commission, will consider this as one of the key dimensions of its regulatory objective. Then transparent mechanisms for fixing of fee with an upper limit for different types of institution depending on their accreditation will be developed, right? So here also, so they are considering the control point on the commercialization of education as well. So transparent mechanism for fixing fee depending on their accreditation will be developed. So this is not yet in place, right? So first, the accreditation bodies in our country, they are actually in the verge of giving out the basic binary accreditation process system. Over that, later on, the maturity based, right? And slowly, once the maturity based accreditation is out, I mean, some college is just a degree awarding college, some other university or something is a research intensive university, some is a teaching intensity, right? So based on this, the colleges, the fee, whatever the colleges claim, right, the benchmarks and the upper limit for the fee, what is the mechanism for setting up the fee, right, will also be developed, because that is the primary intention, is to avoid or to curb the commercialization aspect of quality higher education, right? This I already mentioned. Through a suitable system of graded autonomy accreditation, right, over a span of 15 years, all HEIs will aim to become independent, self-governing institutions pursuing innovation and excellence, right? So these are some of the glimpses of the as spelt wordings in the policy document. So, right, if you see the goals, the ambitions are quite lofty, right? And there is a lot of responsibility on the accreditation bodies while coming up with the binary accreditation process, then framing out the benchmarks for the maturity based, and then how those research or teaching intensive or degree awarding, how they will transform into multidisciplinary, that MERUs, which we have spoken of, what are the benchmarks for MERUs, and then the fifth level, what they are proposing is the University of Global Standard, right? So the benchmarks for each of this is what the policy document envisions, and post this policy document, like the Radhakrishnan committee was formed, right, which has done, if someone has gone through that document, it's also very fabulously, meticulously uh, developed, right? So I'll give the glimpses of those. One second, yeah, yes, okay, the screen got stuck, yes. So now, the accreditation approach. How did the policy document approach the accreditation process? So it has spoke for the first time, right? Although accreditation has been there for quite some time in Indian education system, this, the setting of accreditation in school education is rather very sparse. Very few schools in the entire country think of going for an accreditation. Right, we rarely hear the term of accreditation in school education. And then, of course, transforming the regulatory system of higher education, right? Accreditation and regulatory system both are dealt in this. So these are the two areas where the policy document speaks of, right? And the accreditation part in higher education is dealt in a little more greater detail compared to the school education, because uh, so far in Indian scenario, schools are not accustomed to the process of accreditation, right? So any change is only a gradual change is only for long term and then permanent. All of a sudden, they can't bring up standards of accreditation for the school and then they cannot make it mandatory, right? So let us have in just the school education part, just 5 or 6 slides, right? Because we are all from higher education sector. So 5 or 6 slides, they'll just go on the what the policy document speaks of school accreditation, and then we will go into the accreditation of higher education. So now the uh, policy document overall, if you see, an effective quality self-regulation or accreditation system will be instituted for all stages of education. Underline the word for all stages of education, including preschool education need to be accredited, private, public, philanthropic, to ensure compliance with essential quality standards. You can now think of accreditation including preschool education. So preschool is your nursery, right? It begins from there. That is preschool. So accreditation has to be should start from there. That is the vision of a policy document. How far at a school level or a preschool level that will be realized, we are not sure, because now if you see at every street end, you see a play school or a preschool, right? So because class 1 to class 10 is what the policy document speaks of, right? For class 1, the age is 6. So up to the age of 6, like preschool also is now approved by the policy. So now we have to see whether how far this the accreditation process for school can be implemented. Now, an effective, sorry, I think it got repeated. Okay. To ensure that all schools follow certain minimum professional and quality standards, states or union territories will set up an independent statewide body called the SSSA, State School Standards Authority. So body should be developed or constituted. State School Standards Authority. Some states have already implemented this, and some states are in the process of regulation of this SSSA. So now the SSSA will establish a minimum set of standards based on the basic parameters, which shall be followed by all schools. So it will set up a basic minimum standards, because now if you see the schools, whatever are currently available, they span over a different infrastructure facilities within same locality, right? Different curriculum. Some schools, although they declare to be a state board or whatever, they have got their own syllabus, right? Just before the exam, they train the students for the state syllabus or whatever the state books. Otherwise, they follow a different system, right? So academic matters, including academic standards and curricula in the state, will be led by SCRT, right? With close consultation and collaboration with NCRT. So synergy curriculum, which we already spoke in the day one, is one of the policies of targets of NEP 2020, right? All the state boards, right? They will work in close consultation with NCRT, so that the student from any state to any state, the variation in syllabus is not too drastic. And finally, SCRT will develop a school quality assessment and accreditation framework through wide consultations with all stakeholders. So now this school quality assessment and accreditation, right? Currently we have NAC, assessment and accreditation, right? For higher education. Now SQAA, right? School quality assessment accreditation framework has to be now developed. So now the typical functions of SSSA or SQAF, you can see the basic parameters are on the safety of the school, then the security, what are the basic infrastructure, number of teachers across different grades, number of teachers across subjects, right? Then the financial probity or the financial stability of the school, right? The teacher quality, then the public disclosure, right? And both the school and SSSA on their website, they openly disclose all these parameters and involvement of stakeholders at multiple levels, right? These are some of the basic criteria you can call off in our NAC terminology. We can call it as a criteria. So over these areas, the schools will be evaluated, assessed, right, and suitably given accreditation, right? So this is the plan for it. So now currently, is there no accreditation process for schools? Yes, there is accreditation process for schools through Quality Council of India, right? But very few schools really know about this. Very few schools have a intention, even after knowing very schools, few schools have got intention of going because it's not mandated for them, right? It's an additional expense for them, right? They have to put pressure on the teachers, right? They have to put pressure on their own infrastructure, invest more money, right? So now this Quality Council of India, it's not just only for education, right? Then NABL is there, quality standards for testing, right? Calibration laboratories. This NABL certification you see in most of the uh, some of the engineering colleges have, some of the hospitals they do NABH, right? National Accreditation Board for Hospital and Healthcare Providers. This is also a part of Quality Council of India, right? National Accreditation Board for certification bodies, a part of Council, a Quality Council. And this is what NABET, NABET, National Accreditation Board for Education and Training. So if school currently want, they can go for this accreditation, right? And some schools, some schools, international schools did go for this NABET accreditation, right? But it is just voluntary. It's not mandated upon them by any. But now, previously in the previous slide, we have seen triple SA, right, and SCRT. They will closely work and state assessment and accreditation quality framework, right, will be developed. Once that is released, probably, although the document doesn't say it is mandated, but then it uses a word like all the schools should meet the basic norms set by the SCRT and the accreditation framework, right? So probably at a staged level, it will be uh, imposed on the schools. So now quickly, if we go through this probably is the last slide on the school education part because I don't want to delve much into it. So accreditation to schools in India is provided by National Accreditation Board of Education and Training, NABET, right, which is the constituent board of Quality Council. Okay. So NABET has the set of framework and standards for quality school governance, which is applicable to all schools, regardless of their size, regardless of the type, board, affiliation, and nature of education service provided. So currently, if the schools want, they can apply for the NABET accreditation. The process and all, if you can actually go to the Quality Council of India website, right? The process, the fee, what are the basic, some of the documents required, what are the areas they focus on, right? You can go through it. Probably if schools can go through this, then at a later stage, the accreditation which is being spoken of by NEP 2020, if at all that comes, right, you can be a little more prepared, right? So now accreditation for higher education. Right. Sorry, accreditation for higher education. So now this is one of the important area which you are looking forward. So in the future slides moving forward, we are going to see what is the background, what are the current issues, what are the challenges, and how the accreditation councils taking into consideration the suggestions, advices of NEP 2020, taking into consideration the suggestions of the Radhakrishnan report, right? How the issues are addressed, how the challenges are faced, right? What is the way forward, right? So that's what we are going to look, right? So now issues, if we look into, this is the accreditation status. If you see accreditation of universities, totally on the UGC portal, if we see, roughly around 1,200 universities are there, 1,100 universities, 1,168. Okay, let us say 1,100 universities are there, of which are accredited by NAC are only 40%, and to be accredited are 60%. Right? And accreditation of colleges, if you see, right, this colleges, again, categorization you can see here, affiliated colleges and then autonomous colleges. So now in affiliated colleges, the total number, if you can see here, those which are NAC accredited are only 13%, and to be accredited are 87%. Whooping number, 13 and 87. This is a serious concern because when we are speaking of accreditation, we are speaking of quality, right? Our students tomorrow from here, they should be recruited into global markets. And education is one which prepares the students, the quality of labs in our university and quality of labs in abroad universities. Right? When an institute in India is given A++ rating, will it still have the same rating, highest rating, when it is accredited by a foreign accreditation agency? These are all challenges. These are all challenges. Right? So autonomous colleges, if you see, 49%, this is a reasonably okay, 50-50 you can consider, 49 and 51. Right? But if you see affiliated colleges, you can see that number. So, but overall, if you see the average, only 14% of the autonomous, colleges have been accredited and 86% are yet to be accredited. This is again a serious challenge. So these are the issues. Why aren't the colleges coming forward for accreditation? Right? Means there is some thing which has to be addressed. Then accreditation categories wise, if you see, government colleges, 10% are accredited, whereas 90% are to be accredited. So these government colleges, we are speaking of even IITs, NITs, all the CFTI, centrally funded technical institutes, come under this. Right? Now, all the IITs and the NITs, other CFTIs and all, they doesn't come into the fold of accreditation as existing currently. But then the policy document, NEP policy document and Radhakrishnan report, they speak that including IITs, NITs, right, all the CFTIs should definitely go for accreditation. Why? Because quality standard and quality benchmarks have to begin from there, top down. Right? And then aided colleges, private colleges, right? If you can see the split up, the overall, if you see again, it is 14% and then 86%. So these are the numbers which are of serious concern. Why aren't the colleges coming forward for accreditation? Why aren't the universities coming forward for accreditation? Right? So now, and also there is a lot of ambiguity. Right? There is NAC, right? There is NBA. That is, one is institutional accreditation, other one is the program accreditation. Then you speak of NIRF, which is constituted in 2016. Right? There is a lot of difference between these parameters, the data format. Right? Some institutions which go for NAC, they don't want to go for NIRF intentionally. Right? Some institutions again which are ranked well in NIRF, they don't fare well in NAC. Right? So there are different concerns, confusions by the managements, by the teachers, by the IQAC coordinators. Right? These are all the issues. These are all the issues. So now to address this, after going through the statistics and all, the policy document actually, it speaks of light but tight regulation. Right? Light but tight. What is light? Is the initial, means you should have an overall regulatory system which will not scare up the institutions or organizations. Just like if most of us are scared by the IIT JEE entrance. I'm not speaking of, I don't know the current IIT JEE entrance, like way back when I have written IIT JEE entrance during our times, it was not objective questions, it was subjective questions. Right? We had something around 24 questions in 3 hours. We got 24 questions in 3 hours, and it was a killer exam. It was really a killer exam. And now it's an objective, it's much easier. And out of 24, I think 18 were compulsory. We have to answer. Right? So the point is, we just used to tremble by hearing the word IIT mains, because it used to be a subjective question. Just so very creamy top layer only used to dare to take that IIT entrance. So people, the accreditation body started reflecting, is it really our accreditation, our criteria, our standards, are they so stringent that most of the colleges or universities, they are not willing to come forward? They started self-reflection. So what they thought is, so let us make the initial entry little light and later part should be tight. So the accreditation 0 or 1. Right? So NEP document doesn't spell that, but then based on the reforms what the NAC has taken off late, it speaks of it because NEP document does speak of binary accreditation, right? So light but tight. So ensure integrity, transparency, and resource efficiency of education system through audit and public disclosure while encouraging innovation and out-of-box ideas through autonomy, good governance, and empowerment. And their regulation by a single regulator. So now previously we are speaking of what do you say? A NAC, NBA, and different things, right? For data collection, for all that. So everything now should be monitored by a single regulator. So in that direction, right, we've already seen this slide, just a couple of slides which are I borrowed from the higher education part, right? The four verticals are being set up. One is for academic standard, right? And the other one is regulation, other one is funding, the other one is accreditation part, right? Four verticals. So now the accreditation part is one what we are going to look into. So these are the four verticals, right? So this slide we've already seen: National Accreditation Council, NHERC, then HEGC, and General Education Council. So they decrease the number of regulators, they reduce the interface of the government, increase transparency of the process, improve standard of higher education, then provide institutions more autonomy. So now let us see this. What is this? So we are speaking of change, right? The accreditation process has to change. So do we need one, really, a change? And how does that make you feel? Yes. So probably we can have a couple of minutes for interaction. How many of you feel that the current accreditation system should change? Probably you can respond to your chat window. Do you feel like there's a need to change? Yes or no? Current accreditation system. Yes. Vimala Juliet, then Lakshmi Devi, yes. Kamale, yes. Okay. Yes. Bhagya Lakshmi, yes. Jamuna, yes. Sai Vinay, yes. Okay. Okay. So then, yeah. Carry chat here. I think there is a need for change, especially if it will help the students in school, because we'll be able to transition from one school to another more smoothly. Oh, so one gentle lady is speaking about school. Good. Yeah. So, like, see, most of us wanted a change. One second, my screen got stuck. One second, sorry. Sorry, please. Uh, okay, yes. Screen is visible, right? Screen visible?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah, thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So how does it make you feel? So how does it make us feel? So see, everybody is looking for a change because for everyone there is a pinprick. Everyone feels that they are not being assessed properly. Everyone feels that, see, the okay, let us look into the challenges. So why change? So everybody want a change. Why change? The reasons are different for different people. The reasons are different for different people. Everybody wants a change. Nobody is 200% happy with the existing system. So someone who may say he is happy, I need a lot of courage to say it, but then I will say it. Probably they might be faking it. right? Because there is a lot of data fudging which is going on. Everyone knows it. No one can deny it. If we touch the core of our hearts and we have to say, at least in a private room, we have to agree to that fact, right? So an old NAC feature, if you look into, there is a peer team visit. There is a peer team visit, and the grading system is there. Then there are 7 criteria, and the student satisfaction. So we are all familiar with this, right? So, but everybody wanted a change from this, right? So in 2017, they have 2017, 2018, 2017, they started. From 2018 onwards, they have come up with the new system, a new grading policy. And then in 2022, they have released the benchmarks, right? And now within a 2022, and then from 2023 onward, actually they started working on the Radhakrishnan committee was formed, and they started working, and now they are coming up with a new framework. What does it will hold for us? So emerging higher education system is what NEP 2020 envisions, right? It's not speaking of current higher education system. It's speaking of emerging higher education system. Emerging higher education system aims of Vikasit Bharat 2047. It is a national goal, above and beyond all political parties or whatever it is. I'm not bringing any political parties or anything. Vikasit Bharat, yes, it's a vision. 1947, India got independence. 2047, 1 century. 1 century. I initially thought, why 2047? Why 2047? But then once I gave it a thought, yeah, it is 100 years past our Indian century, and the amount of development is quite staggering. The amount of development is quite staggering. 1 century, and then the GDP or the development or the technological development, the development of education sector, the foreign investments. It's not really up to the expectation of what, in 1 century, what a country like India could actually have achieved, right? Economic and societal development. So higher education should actually achieve more economic development. It should achieve more societal development in the sense of removing the social barriers, bringing more inclusivity. And demographic dividend, this is one of the greatest advantage. Demographic dividend, the highest number of younger population, less than 30 or 35, 60 or 65% of our population is less than 30 or 35, which is what is making entire world look to us. China, if you look into, it's an old country. The average, the age of the average age of the people, if you look into, most of the European countries, they have the problem. Japan has a problem. But whereas so now, are we going to encash on that? And what is the tool which helps us to encash on that? The tool is higher education, right? And to revamp that higher education, you need a proper system, right? And we all and we are speaking of Amrit Kal, and we all have a role to play to it. And NEP 2020 speaks of like we need to go for outside in and inside out approach. So that is a whole topic altogether, outside in and inside out approach. Different organizations, business, they have got a different approach to it. Health sector have got a different approach to the outside in and inside out approach. Education sector has got different, but in essence, I will tell you in a very simpleton sort of way, outside in is like imitation, inside out is transformation. Probably these two terms you can very easily understand. Outside in is imitation. You see something outside and you want to replicate the same thing inside. You force your people to bring the change. Usko mila A plus plus. What did they do? Or isko mila something else. Or the neighbor has purchased a car. I want. So you see outside and then you try to bring the transformations inside by force. You try to penetrate the shell. Right? The simple example, an egg is there. If you break it from outside, the living entity inside, it dies. But from inside out, the force comes from inside, and the living entity inside breaks the shell, it sees a new light. You can understand by the same principle. One is imitation, the other one is transformation. So NEP 2020 speaks of transformation, not just imitation. It's not just imitation of Western system. Oh, in European countries, in I mean England, this is happening. In Middle East, this is happening. Bring everything, cut, copy, paste. That's really not going to work out for education system, right? Changing role and focus of higher education system, quantity versus quality, right? So we have uh, See, we have seen now the background. In the initial slide, I have told of the reasons for changing or bringing about a change in the accreditation system, all right? Higher education particularly. I spoke of three terms. One is background, second one is issues, the third one is challenges. Right? So background, we have seen the stats, right? What is hindering the process? People are not coming forward, right? So now the accreditation status, if you see, we really have to focus what are the challenges. There is a really lack of focus on the quality. There are lack of incentives commensurate with accreditation. Then there's a lot of fear of not getting good grades by the colleges. There are very large number of metrics, 87 or 89, I guess, subject to correction. Then 5-year data is used for accreditation. Then there are long cycle times. Average 3 months is required. Sometimes some colleges do say they've applied and 8 months over, 9 months over, still the peer team, PTV has not happened. The lengthy process with multiple steps. They do not consider the maturity of higher education institutions. They do not consider the heterogeneity and variability of higher education institutions. There are challenges in objectives measurement. Then unhealthy competition among higher education institutions, unfair practice in the system. This is what is actually happening in the accreditation system now. Right? So whenever an institution says A++, it is truly not reflecting the quality standard. What it is reflecting is a proper documentation process rather than the proper quality standard. If it is reflecting a proper quality standard, why an institution, say, which is really faring well in NIRF, why can't it get, say, a good grade in accreditation process? Because the parameters are fairly similar. But you find a college which is nowhere in the top 200, it gets A++. Right? So, and this also leads to unhealthy competition among institutions. Right? It does not consider the maturity of the higher education. Some institution which is going for a 4th cycle, and a young university or a young college which has just started the 5-year, 5th or 6th year, 2 batches have graduated, it wants to go for accreditation. The parameters are same for this and also as a university which is 100 years old. ISC Bangalore has gone for accreditation. It got 3.66 or 3.67. Exactly, don't remember. So ISC Bangalore, more than 100 years. So the parameters for IISc Bangalore are same. Parameters for new college, any new college is same, or any other institution is the same. So it doesn't consider the heterogeneity. It doesn't consider the maturity of the institution. This is what anybody you touch. I have met nearly more than 30 to 40 IQAC coordinators of different colleges, right? Formal conversations, informal conversation. Anyone you touch, the unhappy person in any university is the IQAC coordinator. He is a really unhappy person. Anytime you touch him, he has a list of problems to tell. Right? Finally, the pressure of the management is on him because management wants A++. Right? So the accreditation system, although the intent is to improve the quality, we are not achieving it. So with the national education policy, the entire mechanism has changed. Change in the sense it wanted a change to address all the things which are seen in the previous slide. It wants a major breakthrough. Accreditation should truly reflect quality. It should truly reflect quality. Just like what do you say? When I accredit an institution, see why NAC or let me not. I'm very sorry, I withdraw my statement. See why accreditation bodies in India, why they are not able to become global standards. EBET, why we are running after EBET? We are running after IET. Universities in other countries, they are not coming forward that we want to be accredited by NAC. The same way, like IEEE standards, we are running after it. ASME standards, we are running after it. There is a pinprick somewhere, right? So NEP want to address that. The entire mechanism has changed. The present accreditation mechanism is overexploited. By whom? It is overexploited by the organizations, institutions. Why? Because just in one cycle, there are institutions which have changed from C+ to A++. Is that quantum jump really possible in just 5 years? Institutions moving from C+ to A++. in just 5 years means a quantum jump in quality in a span of 5 years. So we need a change. We need a change. No visibility quality change has been reported despite good grades. From C plus it has moved to A plus plus. But if you go and visit any that same college, you don't find any that major quality change. So the very purpose of accreditation body is to gradually improve the quality. Okay, pehla cycle mein C plus aa gaya. Next, am I going to B plus or am I go to C plus plus? Over a span, there is a gradual quality improvement, but the very purpose has been defeated and an unhealthy competition has been sprouted. My neighboring college has got B plus. The management forces us that at least we should get A. And how to achieve that? Document, data fudging. Is this really, will this really help us in achieving our Amrit Kal 2047? How we want to see India 100 years after independence? Right? And one size fits all model, same evaluation pattern is there for every cycle. Then data AQAR is not checked effectively. It's a bold statement, but it's true. And one thing NEP document has realized is everyone cannot do everything. Everyone cannot do everything. You are a good singer. I'm a good player. Someone else is a good painter. Gone are the days like expecting a jack of all trades. This is what it says. We are now classifying, or the NEP document tries to classify teaching intensive university, research intensive university, because everybody cannot do everything. When you are expecting everybody to do everything, even good colleges, I am a teaching intensive university, and most of my parameters I am losing in, say, research, because research in the old NAC format research criteria 3 is one of the heavily weighted criteria. Right? I'll definitely not fare well because my focus is on undergraduate education. Right? So now what they say is they realize that everybody cannot do everything. Let us categorize a different set of benchmarks for a research intensive university, a different set of benchmarks for a teaching intensive university. Right? Okay, slowly today I'm a teaching intensive university, but my institutional development plan over a span of 10 years or 15 years, I want to move from teaching intensive to research intensive university. Right? What are the benchmarks? Benchmarks already given for research. Oh, so you set up your gradual plans, right? You set up, you empower your faculty, train them for gradual upliftment, right? The data collection is voluminous, right? Yeah, another one. Inherent challenges like rural locations, small-sized colleges, special objectives are not addressed, right? Faculty stability you speak of. There is a small college, let us say, or even a good college, good infrastructure in a remote location. Do you think the faculty are going to stay there? Because faculty, after all, they are human beings. They have their children, their education, right? Everybody want to move to big cities. And now, based on the retention rate and attrition rate, so the new policy will speak of based on the location of the college. What is your overall orientation and heritage of your college, the legacy of your college? Based on all this, the benchmarkings will be done. And one more drawback. Currently, DVV is a third-party exercise. Data verification process is a third-party exercise, right? 3 or 4, exactly, I don't know, 3 or 4 different agencies are there which actually look into this, right? And there is a likely chance that if you give the same data from one DVV agency to another DVV agency, there can be a variation. There can be a variation. And who is going to question that? Right? And the learning outcomes, right? They have currently too little weightage, right? So these are some of the areas, right? So now what the policy document aims in nutshell is there is no more mad race. There are no grades. There are no egos. Only two things, accredited or not accredited. Simple. Very simple. Very, very simple. You can put any number of varies. If you're not accredited, you're far, far, far below accreditation. If you're accredited, accreditation was complete and you have met the minimum quality standards. Probably the waiting for accreditation, I'm not sure whether the NAC will issue that or no, but this is also under discussion or debate. Currently, they are speaking of accredited, and so applied for accreditation but yet to get it, that is waiting for accreditation, probably they will be given some a due period, right? It is on the verge. It's on the verge. Okay. So probably they will be given certain grace period where the institutions are given an opportunity to make up those areas to fall into this accredited segment. See, the primary purpose is get most of the institutions onboarded. We have seen 14% and 86%, 14 or 15, whatever the number exactly. Only 14 or 15% are institutions are accredited. 86% are not accredited. So we have to get them onboarded. We have to get them onboarded. And the reason why these 86, 85 or 86% are not going forward is they're afraid of grades. Now my college has got a good reputation. By chance, if I go and instead of A++, because my neighboring college has got A++ or A+, by chance, if I get anything less than that, the public perception will totally change, right? And the concept of mad race has led into the what do you call data fudging, right? The grade is not truly reflecting the quality, right? So this is an excellent move, which will ensure most of the colleges are onboarded and the minimum quality standard is met. And those institutions, the policy document speaks of those institutions which are far below, which are not accredited, means they are far below expectation. Efforts will be taken to mentor it, handhold it, bring it up till it gets accredited. That is what policy document speaks of. And how that is going to be achieved, probably it has to be spelled out. It has to be spelled out. Probably a cluster, a mentor in the nearby college will be given to it, right? How that should be worked out. So, and one more thing is amalgamate program accreditation and institutional accreditation. So no multiple accreditations, right? Now we have got NBA for program accreditation, right? NAC, we have got institutional accreditation, right? Two different accreditations, right? So now the policy document, Radhakrishnan reports, they speak like only one accreditation. So just a quick overview, the old NAC and new NAC, right? So old NAC, 87 metrics are there, right? 1,000 points, and the new NAC, and we have got 7 criteria, and the new NAC speaks of attributes, right? 10 different attributes, right? 9 attributes, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So they 10 attributes will constitute 900, and apart from that, uniqueness or situatedness, right? That has 100. So all put together will make 1,000. So now the new understanding the new methodology. So the reforms, what we are expecting is they will consider the orientation of the institution and also vision of the institution, right? Whether all these categories, the benchmarks for all these categories will be given or not, or discipline specific accreditation benchmarks will be given or not, that is still not clear. Mostly that kind of because they have simplified the initial accreditation. For the initial accreditation, binary accreditation, accredited or not accredited, this kind of discipline-wise categorization is not much helpful, right? But the later stage, maturity-based grading, with they're speaking of research intensive, teaching intensive, right? So that level, the benchmarks will be very significant, right? And the grading also will be based on the vision of the university, right? If you are a vocational or skill intensive university, skill universities they are speaking of, digital universities they are speaking of, cultural universities they are speaking of, sports universities they are speaking of, Merus they are speaking of, then heritage and legacy, 100-year-old institution, new and upcoming, right? For a new and upcoming institution, the emphasis is more on infrastructure, buildings, 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 buildings. Where are the green initiatives? Very less. Where is the investment on library? The investment on library should be 10%. The existing system speaks of 10% of the investment of the total expenditure should be on library. But for a new institution, you have to come up with the academic labs, academic infrastructure, classrooms, the digital infrastructure, the hostels, the playgrounds. The infrastructural expenditure is going to be a extraordinarily large number, and 10% of that, if you have to establish invest on library, it is a total mismatch. So for the NAC reforms, they have I have also like representing my university, right? I've given some suggestions, a detailed suggestion, one-page report I've given on to the NAC. They are collecting input for this new reforms. We also have given, and I've also on the platforms where I got an opportunity, I watched out what are the things have to be considered, right? So the new system will definitely be encouraging for different institutions. Everyone will try to own that. Yes, this is for me. This accreditation, what is revised, yes, these are the changes I wanted. At least you may not be 100% satisfied, but at least 50% you will be definitely satisfied. Yes, this is more reasonable. Everyone will say that. So high level implementation, as I've told you, the stage one, this is what Dr. Ganeshan Kanibaran, the respectable honorable director of NAC. In stage one is binary accreditation. He presented this. Stage two is maturity based, and their target is 90% of the institution should be accredited in the next 5 years. Right. So the NAC reforms, what they are aiming at, as I mentioned, right? Binary accreditation in the initial stage, then maturity based accreditation, focus on data and transparency, and one nation, one data platform that I'll speak of later. And then 10 attributes, input, process, and outcomes. And then one is on impact, right? Accredited, provisionally, or not accredited, right? Three different. So binary accreditation, what will be achieved through binary accreditation? There will be no peer team visits, which is an important aspect that reduces anxiety among HEIs and removes unfair practice in the system. Finger crossed, unfair practices, you can assume for yourself what those unfair practices are, but then no peer team visits, and it reduces a lot of anxiety for HEIs, right? Then shorter cycle time for entire process of accreditation likely to be reduced to less than 50% than the current methodology. Currently, the cycle time is 5 years. They are asking the data for 5 years, and you are given accreditation for a period of 5 years. So moving forward, the data is likely to be asked only for 3 years. You may be asked data for 3 years. And the accreditation also will be for 3 years. You're a binary accreditation, accredited or not accredited, it most likely will be for 3 years, right? See, these are all some of the things where I get to heard from reliable platforms. Some are my interpretations based on the NEP policy document, then Radhakrishnan report, right? So finally, don't take this into granted, right? And then start advertising in your college and say it's only for 3 years, it's not for 5 years, right? So we all have, even I am waiting for the final release of the NAC guidelines. And accommodates variability among HEIs in terms of focus, orientation, location, other aspects. This will make many of the institutions happy. What is the focus of the institution? Is it teaching, or it research, or it's skill, or it's vocational training? And the orientation, the location, is it in urban location or rural location, and other aspects, right? And then preparation for maturity levels will be enabled through participation in binary accreditation. You're likely to instill a sense of confidence for taking up maturity based levels. So once initially you're accredited, binary accredited, you're accredited or not accredited, right? It gives you confidence. Yes, I'm accredited, right? So then process simplification. So reaccreditation period likely to be 3 years. Then the other one is input, process, output, and impact. These are the parameters. So mostly the current uh, accreditation system, it takes into this input, then process and output. Impact is less measured. Like I'll tell you, for example, input, process, output, and impact. Input, let us say you're sowing a seed. That is the input. A mango seed you have sown in the ground. Process. Every day you have to take care, you have to put a tree guard, you have to water it, right? When the first initial 2 leaves have come out, you should see that nobody pulls it out. There are no insects in, right? There's a process. And output is after 5 years or 6 years or 10 years, whatever the fructification period is, you get a fruit. That is the output. And after eating the fruit, what are the health benefits I got? That is the impact. How is it having the impact on the health? What is the satisfaction of the person? That is the impact. So the difficult part to measure is impact. Up to here, it is okay. I can see by eating that mango, what is my health benefit? It's not as soon as they eat a mango, immediately health benefits are seen. It takes time, impact. So the the reforms, they aim to measure the impact, not all parameters, right? As I mentioned, the initial accreditation part will be rather simple. AACT annual reapproval will be eliminated. Parameters will be 10, right? And all HEIs to participate in the process, including institutions of national importance and all the centrally funded technical institutions. So the metrics, if we see, if someone has posted, I'm not audible. Is it the same for everyone or
No, sir. You are audible, sir.
audible, right? Can you just check with one or two because someone has kept in the chat box.
Yeah. Maybe there is a problem at their end, sir.
That's all. No, okay, fine. Yeah, metric description. See, as I have mentioned, it focuses on three things: input, then process, and then outcomes. The last one is impact. So in the initial binary accreditation process, impact or situated, that is assessed only for 100 marks. The initial accreditation, the binary accreditation, impact is measured only for 100 marks. Input, then process, and output. These three, I'm sorry, input, process, and outcomes. Outcomes or output, yes, sir. Right? Is weighted for 900 marks. But although maturity based, the next level, maturity based metrics or benchmarks are not yet released. The way I read it is they are going to measure the impact. The emphasis will be more on impact for the second level of accreditation. I mean the grading, right? Graded level of institutions, teaching intensive, research intensive. There, the impact will be more prominently. If you say you're a teaching intensive university, what is the impact you are creating? If you are saying a research intensive university, right? For you to be categorized into research intensive, the impact will be measured more rather than the input, process, and outcomes. Right? So the initial process, so previously we had 7 metrics, now we have got 10 metrics. Under the input metrics, curriculum design is there, faculty resources, infrastructure, financial resource, and management. And in the process, teaching and not teaching learning, now it is learning and teaching. The emphasis is more on learning part. Right? In the new reforms, previously for us it is teaching and learning, right? The metric. Now it is learning and teaching. Emphasis is more on learning. That is how the metrics also I see will be framed, because I don't think the big heads there, they are very particular about changing the words just like that. Previously it was teaching learning. Now why they want to make it learning and teaching? So there should be a very deep meaning to it. Then extended curricular engagements, then governance and administration, they come into the process part, and then outcomes, student outcomes, research and innovation outcomes, and sustainability, right? So these are the 10 attributes, what they call. They, in the new document, they don't call them as criteria or criteria, they call it attributes. So 4 plus 3 plus 3, 7 plus 3 is 10. And screen, sorry, 1 second, screen is getting repeatedly stuck up. 1 second, just I'll unshare and share it again. So now this is what we are speaking of: input, process, output, and then impact. So all these 4 areas will be measured. As I mentioned, the impact part, the impact part weightage currently in the binary accreditation process is less. So now the attributes, 10 attributes, there are total, you can say 58 metrics. The split goes like this: 57 plus 1. All right. So 57 are this input, process, and output, and 1 is uniqueness or the impact part, which is 1 for 100. So the first attribute speaks of curriculum, which has got 7 metrics. In that university, these are the weightages: university, autonomous, and affiliated college weightages, right? 75, 75, and 50. Then attribute 2 is faculty resources, right? There is metric 2 that has got again 2 metrics under it, right? University, then autonomous and affiliated. So here you can see affiliated colleges have got high weightage, 100 weightage compared to university and autonomous colleges. Then attribute 3 is infrastructure, which has got 6 metrics in it: 50, 50, and 75, university, autonomous, and affiliated. And then financial resources and management, it has got 4 metrics in it: 50, 50, 50. All three are equal here. And then attribute 5, learning and teaching. University has got 125. Autonomous and affiliated has got 150 each. Then extended curricular engagements, it has got 6 metrics under it. University is 100, then autonomous and affiliated 125 each. And then governance and administration, you have got 10 metrics under it. All right, so far, if you see, the highest number of metrics is for this governance and administration. University has 100, autonomous has got 100, affiliate has 125. Then attribute 8 is student outcomes. It has got 4 metrics under it: 150, 125, and 100 for university, autonomous, and affiliate respectively. And then attribute 9, research and innovation, is 7 metrics under it: 125, 100, and 50. So you can see for affiliated colleges, the weightage is only 50 in research, innovation, and outcomes, right? Sustainability outcomes. So these three, 8, 9, and 10 outcomes: student outcomes, research innovation outcomes, sustainability and green initiative outcomes, right? So here also, research and innovation, you have got 7, and then sustainability outcomes and green initiatives, we have got 4 metrics, and then all are equal: 75, 75, 75, right? So in total, 10 attributes, 58 metrics, and that's what, 58. That this 1 is already included here, right? So it's not 58 plus 1, it is 57 plus 1. Okay. So this is how the new reforms is most likely to look. This is actually discussed by Professor Honorable Ganesh Kanibaranji, right? But once the document, they are collecting the feedback across the country, right? And finally, once it is released, there can be minor changes. There won't be a drastic changes, minor changes here and there, taking into considerations of the feedback, right? The involvement of various stakeholders, different people are giving different feedback. A minor variation, probably 5 to 10% variation, can be there here and there, right? But then it won't be a black to white change, right? So in the curriculum part, quickly I'll scroll through. I'll not waste, take a lot of time here. So these are the different metrics which are there. So this is what we already spoke of: university, autonomous, and affiliate. The metric 1.1 to 1.8 for university, autonomous, and affiliated colleges. So if you can see here, NA is not applicable for affiliated college, metric 1.1, right? Outcome-based curriculum for affiliated colleges, because this is actually a good move. Affiliated college, they don't have any liberty to change the syllabus. They are just following, they are bound to follow what the university is giving. So under such a case, so this is actually a very good move. It's a very good move, right? So outcome-based curriculum. So they don't have one, you are assessing a person on a parameter over which he has no control, right? So this has been removed, right? 1.3, again, curriculum flexibility. It's not applicable for affiliated. But whereas university and autonomous, 10 and 10. But affiliated college, it's not applicable, right? So now that's what, in the some slides back, around 15 or 20 slides back, I've asked change, change, change. And everybody wants the change, right? If you touch affiliated college, these are some of the areas which they have grievances over. So they have been very nicely addressed. Overall, you see, like, the satisfaction level of the people once the reforms are out will be very high. Then you can see curriculum revision, again 1.8 is not applicable to affiliated colleges, right? Then 1.6, Indian knowledge system, it's not applicable to affiliate college, because Indian knowledge system, I have to introduce a course. right? My affiliate college, my principal or my chairman, they are very intent. They want to implement NEP, but their hands are tied. They can't unless the university, because they're affiliated, right? And then 1.8, right, is curriculum revision. They don't have. So curriculum flexibility, curriculum revision, outcome-based curriculum, then Indian knowledge system. For all these, affiliate college is not applicable, not applicable, not applicable. Not. Don't you think that this is a reasonable proposition? But there are areas where affiliate colleges have got more scope. So you have seen some areas, some attributes, affiliate colleges are given more weightage compared to university, because those are the areas where they can actually contribute, right? So this curriculum one, this itself, if you see, you will come to an understanding that yes, they have really put a lot of thought, a lot of survey, a lot of feedback, right, into and taking all this into considerations, they have come up with the good reforms. Then attribute 2, faculty resources, is one is faculty quality and then faculty student ratio, right? And then here also again, for university, autonomous and affiliate colleges, it is the categorization is given 50, 50 and 100, right? Then attribute 3, infrastructure, right? Physical infrastructure. Then metric 2, learning resources, research resources, IT infrastructure, Divyangajan friendly facilities, then innovation resources, right? These are the 6 areas, right? So wherever NA is there, right, it is not that specific metric is not applicable to those colleges. So if you can see innovation resources, not much is emphasized for autonomous institutions and affiliated institutions, right? So like they have taken a due consideration. Is it really possible for autonomous colleges, the kind of financial resources what they need, the quality of faculty what is required, right? The how much time the faculty is able. So many colleges, many universities, they have given feedback. So what I felt was by looking into this attributes and the distribution of marks, the weightages, they have really done a good job. Then attribute 4, financial resources and management, ratio of capital income versus capital expenditure, that is metric 1. And metric 2, you have got ratio of revenue income versus revenue expenditure. I will not go into what is capital income, revenue income and all. That is out of the scope of current discussion. Then sustainability, and then financial controls and risk management, right? So the risk management part, financial controls and risk management part, the colleges should actually start working on it, right? So what is risk management? What is financial control? Financial control is the financial autonomy, right? You need to prepare policy documents. Yes, the head of the department has got this amount which he can issue on his own. The deans have got this, the directors have got this, right? The principal has got this amount. What is the financial autonomy, financial controls, the policy document, right? Risk management, right? Also has to be, the document also has to be in place, right? And this you can see here, the category wise, the based on the university, autonomous and affiliate college, how the distribution is, okay? Then attribute 5, teaching and learning, the pedagogical approaches, then 5.2 is learning management systems, and 3 is industry academia linkage, assessment components, catering to diversity, academic grievance redressal, and then adherence to academic calendar. Adherence to academic calendar, all right? This was not there earlier, means it was actually there only for the result declaration part, number of days, but we just need to see what actually comes under this adherence to academic calendar, right? And then this is again for university, autonomous and affiliated. So here also again you can see here for affiliated colleges, they have really benefited affiliated colleges, because if you see in the current accredited status, affiliated colleges are the ones which have not gone for accreditation. 13% only got accredited, 87% did not get accredited. Adherence to academic calendar, they strictly have to follow the university academic calendar. So no scope at all, right? So they've done a decent job. Then extended curricular engagement. The next attribute has to be attribute number 6, right? So these are all the Yeah. So 6.1 domain related clubs, then metric 2 cultural clubs and activities. Then 3 mental well-being clubs, value education, sports club, community club. So previously, if you see, we just had clubs and associations or clubs and chapters, only one metric we used to have. Now, they have segregated all this for holistic development. One is domain related. Domain related is technical clubs, right? Domain related is technical clubs. I belong to mechanical engineering, I belong to electrical engineering or EC or IT. These are all domains. So professional clubs, how many are there? What are the activities? What are the festivals? So activities and festivals are not again cultural festivals. Please don't get misled by it. Right? Engineers Day. Then I think what is this? Mathematics Day or whatever. You got different days, right? Right? Doctors Day you got. Hmm? So World Innovation and Entrepreneurship Day. So now so many days are there. So how are you celebrating those? What are the clubs related to that? Cultural clubs, again separate. What are the activities and festivals? This is another metric. Mental well-being clubs and activities. This metric is not seen before earlier. Mental well-being clubs he's speaking of. Now colleges have to gear up. We need to think in this direction. And what are the activities? Right? And then value education, ethics, morals, right? Then this is all extended curriculum engagements. Then metric 6.5, sports clubs. Then community focused activity. This is outreach. 6 points. Outreach is already there, right? So now if you see this in earlier, which was just clubs, are now segregated into technical clubs, cultural clubs, mental well-being clubs, sports clubs. And each of that activities, festivals, clubs and its activities, teams and its activities. And these two are already there earlier, right? So if you can see here, uh, affiliate colleges, autonomous colleges, they have got same weightage because these are the things where there are extended curricular engagements, and I mean even the affiliated colleges, they are not prohibited by the universities to conduct these things. So there you can see affiliated colleges are evaluated on par with autonomous colleges, right? So very justly and very aptly considered, they have really considered the, that's what we told, right? It's not one size fits all. That's not the model where the reforms are actually taking place. Attribute 7, governance and administration, institutional development plan. So all the institutions, please, they work on this institutional development plan, right? You need to have a proper document, right? UGC has given some guidelines, right? If someone wants any help or guidance, like you can actually, we can discuss over that. Because I helped a couple of 4 or 5 institutions in developing their institutional development plan, right? Then if metric 2 is effective leadership, and then quality assurance, and then 7.4 is statutory compliance and public disclosure, then student and employee welfare. Then 7.6 and 7.7 is efforts for employability, grievance handling. Then 7.9 national international collaborations, and then 7.10 is faculty retention. The distribution, if you see here, university autonomous and affiliate 100, 100 and 125. Okay. So now quality assurance system, if you see 7.3, affiliate colleges are given double the weightage than autonomous colleges, which they can actually do. Quality assurance system, it is the internal system, how well is it is in place and how the efforts are in that direction. And attribute 8 is the student enrollment, which is already there. Then graduate progression, these are the outcomes, right? 8, 9 and 10 are outcomes. Previously 5, 6, 7 are process based, we have seen. Then pass percentage, then awards, prizes, recognitions in curricular and extracurricular areas, right? So this and the weightage, if we see, these are the weightages. Then attribute 9, research and innovation outcomes. Research grants, then publications, research quality, PhD is awarded, research fellowships, intellectual property, and then consultancy and training. Okay, so that's what research fellowships you can see here for 9.5 autonomous colleges and affiliated colleges, both it's not applicable. So compared to the previous revised NAC which came in 22, compared to that, this actually benefits affiliated colleges and autonomous colleges much more compared to the previous one. Then attribute 10, the last one, sustainability outcomes. One is community activities, then waste management and water management. Progress towards net zero. Net zero is also a very important area which colleges need to look over. Right? Green audits and initiatives. Right. Again, this is the categorization. So here, if you can see, all the university, autonomous and affiliate, all are equally weighted, 75, 75, 75, and everything is same because these initiatives can be taken at the uh, management level of the university or a autonomous college or a affiliated college, right? So with that, you can see this the levels of institutions on basis of growth and maturity, right? The big this so till now, what are the 10 attributes we have seen are for the initial basic accreditation, right? Binary accreditation. So now this is for on the base of growth and maturity. So number of programs. So next level, whether it is teaching intensive or research intensive, how that will happen now. All right. This is spelled hinted out in NEP document and also Radhakrishnan committee report. Right. It is based on number of programs, number of disciplines added, and the functional disciplines. What is the size of the institution? Right. Size of the institution, not just the number of students, the main campus, the parent campus and the sister campus and all, right? Years and continuous performance in working and NAC, how many years the institution has been, means the age of the institution, right? How it has performed with NAC in the previous cycles, right? Then 4 levels based on above parameters. This could also be for graded autonomy. And 5th level, institution of global excellence based on multidisciplinary research and education, right? So this is for the next level. All right, so I think I'll stop here. There are a few slides. Probably in tomorrow's session, I'll initially spend some time on this 15 minutes or so because there are certain important areas which need to be covered. I just can't rush it now. Yeah, so uh, I'll stop for today, madam.
Sir. Shall we take questions, sir?
Yeah, madam, please.
Sir, good afternoon, sir. PhDs are given. PhDs are give due importance in accreditation process, and colleges are hiring PhDs at high packages. What is the government having in plan for those MTechs who have crossed their 50s and almost reaching 60s, and those who cannot go for PhD, as it will take another 5 to 7 years? They are paid far less than PhDs, even though their knowledge is not less than those of the PhDs.
So I don't know how to answer this question. This is a very tough question, but actually,
Genuine question, even, sir.
no, it's a tough question, genuine question, right? But fingers are crossed on this. See, the UGC has, see, in 2020 itself, they told like all the colleges, for if someone want to enter a teaching profession, the minimum qualification is PhD. In 2020 itself, they told by 2020, all the colleges in 2016 or 2015, they released exact year, I don't remember. They've given 5 or 6 years time. And they, during that period, actually, most of the MTechs and all, they rushed into joining PhD programs. They tried to complete, some have completed, right? And then UGC was also not very harsh. In 2020, they did not again suddenly release a notice or anything like that. Those of the faculty who don't have PhD, you cannot be a faculty there. So they've again extended it. They told again 2022, but 2022 also is not implemented. So they are giving the rope more and more, right? And as you told, like there is a problem there. At the same time, we have our Indian mentality. We try to take the leverage, whatever gap is given, right? So this is what actually two things are there to this. One is government initiative. Second one is self initiative for career progression. See, I have completed say MTech in say 2000, and I have entered into teaching profession. What are my plans for career progression? while the government gives some opportunities and initiatives, it is more of self-propelling decision that I should go for a PhD rather than government. Government, see, it has given quality improvement program, right? You need to pursue your management. You need to prove yourself that you are really trustworthy. So there are many people who have used this quality improvement program, gone for higher education. They complete their PhDs and come. So government is doing, but then in this particular case, it should be more of self-initiative, right? And then regarding the payment part, see, I cannot say anything on that, right? UGC, AICT, all these are saying that they should pay on par with the basic, I mean, the regulations. But then because government is not paying them, they cannot force the private institutions to pay. So see, that part uh, is something which I cannot comment. But then going for a career development should be well planned, so that we should not blame on anybody. The answer may be harsh, people may not like it, but then going for a PhD is more of self-initiative rather than someone stopping us. So if I say that I want to go for a PhD, my management is never, definitely not going to stop. They may not give additional incentives or additional leaves that probably you have to work on, but definitely they are not going to stop you, right? Yeah. So sorry if my answer has hurt you or whatever it is, but then I try to analyze it the way I see it.
Sir, there is another question. What is your kind suggestion for improving impacts of students?
Impact, right?
Impacts of students.
But impact, right? Impact, IMPACT.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Impact. Okay. See, impact, as I mentioned, it cannot be very quickly seen now. After eating the mango, what are my health benefits? It's not just sufficient if I just see the outcome of only one student or one child. It has to be a span of 5 years or 10 years. The impact will be seen after a span of 5 or 10 years. How well my alumni are placed, right? That is the impact. What kind of, are they starting a company, right? Like if you see Stanford or MIT, right? Most of the, even the dropouts of such colleges, they say that the alumni of MIT or so, they are starting big companies, right? Impact can be measured only after 10 years. For that, our alumni department has to be really strong. We have to maintain very good contact with them. That is why impact is not given much weightage in the initial binary accreditation process. It's given only 100. Only 100 weightage, and that also uniqueness or impact. Uniqueness / impact is given. Uniqueness is like previously in a previous metric also we have got uniqueness, right? It is similar to that, but maturity based level, when you are saying you are research intensive or teaching intensive, then your impact is measured, right? So over a span of 10 years, how you have been performed in the span of 10 years, right? For UG level students, I don't think the impact can be measured in a span, means during their stay. At least it will take minimum 5 years after they left the organization, 5 to 10 years, you can measure the impact.
Sir, Dr. Venugopal is texting. Kindly advise the autonomous colleges in higher education whether maintain the quality. Possibilities may exist for unethical practices.
Can you repeat the question, madam?
Kindly advise the autonomous colleges in higher education.
That question is from YouTube, YouTube or chat box?
No, sir. It is in the Zoom.
Chat box, sir. Okay, yeah, please. I couldn't actually find it out. Yeah, please read it out, madam, once again.
Kindly advise the autonomous colleges in higher education whether maintains the quality. Possibilities may exist for unethical practices.
Oh, see, whether I steal or not is my self-decision. The intention of accreditation body is, nobody is telling us that from 0 level, that's what I told, from C++, a university of C++. See, I've actually done a survey, not to mention the names of the universities. Someone with some institution with B+ suddenly jumped into A++, 5 years time. Everyone knows what went behind the screens. So that is why, like, see, now the government has adopted a strategy itself. So in the previous strategy, the error is inbuilt. In the previous system, the error is inbuilt. So now they have removed the error from it. No mad race. You are accredited, not accredited. That's all. There is no mad race. There are no egos. No, and I am telling you, NAC has not spelled the number, but then to just get onboarded, it will be much easier compared to getting A++ or A grade or whatever it is. They want to bring 86% of universities are not accredited. They want to bring them on board. That is why they have simplified the system. I think once the system is simplified, just like I'll tell you, internal assessment is external assessment. A simpler example which we can easily understand. If external exam is high staked, 80% weightage is given to external exam, then the chance of unethical practices, carrying slips or this or that will be high there. But if I give more weightage to continuous assessment, internal assessments, if 40% or 50% of weightage is for internal assessment and I reduce the stake for end exam, then obviously the error is removed from the system itself. Right? So I think moving forward, once the new NAC reforms have come, the problem what you have told, the taking unethical practices, data fudging and all that, that will naturally go down because the reforms doesn't propel that. They want to eliminate that. That is how it is designed.
Another question, how can we inject these important points in the student minds to its importance?
It's the
How
role of
can we
faculty. So that is the reason, see, why we all have attended to the FDP. Some of the things we have to inform our management. Like I tell you, like Swapna Garu, she has attended one of my FDP earlier and then she took an initiative. She called me over phone, sir, this session is valuable. I want all the fellow colleagues in my university to know this, my college to know this. All teachers should be benefited. That is the intention. So one person can bring the change. And during this session, I got 6 or 7 invitations. Mails I was getting, sir, conduct a session in my college, right? 7 invitations I got so far. I told, let the workshop be over. We can discuss a mutual time. So we have to take an initiative. First, sensitize our fellow colleagues. How many faculty in our college know this? Most of us don't know. So we have attended the workshop. If we are competent enough, so usually the policy is, if a in-house person tells, nobody will listen. You may be really knowledgeable, but if an external speaker comes, they will pay attention, right? So Swapna Garu, she is quite knowledgeable, right? But she took an initiative that you call some other person, so the attention will be more. So let us, you have sensitized yourself, then sensitize the other faculty members, and any information has to percolate from faculty to students only. That is the only way, because students respect the faculty. They, at least to what degree respect, I don't want to say. At least some respect students still carry for the faculty. And when we respect some person, probably the information, whatever they tell, we really value it. So it has to go down from the teacher to the student. That is the way how I see it.
There are no more questions, sir.
Okay.
Concluding, I would thank Dr. P.S. Ramashrikant Garu for such an informative session. Sir, not only the content, sir, even the presentation of slides. Really, maybe me and the other participants also, you're so precision, the precision you have taken in preparing the slides and delivering, really is an excellent session. And as a teachers also, we are learning many things, how to present our point.
Only one thing, madam, I always repeat, I can be an effective speaker only when there's an effective listener.
Sir.
So credit goes to all the listeners.
Yes, sir. On behalf of organizing committee, I would express sincere thanks to our honorable chairman, principal, and our head, our technical team, and all the participants. Before we close the session, we'll have a photo session. I request all the participants to please turn on their videos. All the participants, I request you to turn on their videos. Video, camera. I request all the participants to please turn on their cameras for the photo session. Thank you very much. Thank you all. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you all. Namaste.